landing a single takedown. Was that part of the game plan going in?
Yeah, absolutely. I had talked to my coach. I know the first round our plan was just keep it on the feet. But then I said, hey, you know what? Let's put on a shot for the rest of the round and keep it on the feet. I ain't tried one time to really take him down. I could have really taken him down. If anything, control him. I can try to go for a takedown and come back with strikes.
Did you get the sense that he was a little apprehensive to open up on the feet because of your wrestling ability?
Yeah, I mean, strategy, man. I train and I train hard. If you think I'm just a wrestler, man, you're in for a big surprise.
What kind of improvements have you made? Because it seemed like you were obviously better than you were in Legacy and on the regional scene coming up. This was your best promotion. What have you been working on?
Everything. In our camp with Tommy Ortiz, with Roland, with Abel Cortez, we do MMA. It's not just boxing, it's not just karate. We mixed everything together. I think that's what mixed martial arts is now. It's not karate versus wrestling anymore. It's mixed martial arts.
Do you believe this was your best performance?
Yeah, but like I said, I could always do better. I was patient. I went out there and did what my coaches asked me to do. I couldn't kick, so the second time I kicked, he caught his elbow, and my right foot was kind of hurting. But I just went directly to my hands. I wish I would throw a little more elbows. But I just want to keep it on my feet. Normally, I'm a very dirty fighter. I'll put you against a cage and I'll throw some knees, elbows, and I'll make you suffer. But this time, there's a little more dance, a little more the science of boxing.
A chance to debut on top.
It's special, man. For me, I was telling one of the ladies here. I remember our coach Frank Sanchez used to make us. We used to sell lemonade here in the stands and whatnot. I used to carry like a big tank behind me. Used to serve people lemonade. Yeah, the Suns games, different events that they would have here at US Airways. And now I get a chance to compete in front of thousands of people. So it's truly a dream come true.
When you did your post-fight interview, you asked for another chance at 125. Considering how good you looked at 135, why do you want to be at flyweight?
I feel like I woke up the next day, and what I weigh is pretty much about 144, 142. I cut 8 pounds yesterday. And again, a lot of people will be scared, but that's what I weigh. It was an hour cut, and I felt good. And I feel like I should finish something that I try to start. And I feel like if Daniel Cormier could make weight, I could definitely make weight. I was on the Olympic team with him, so I know if he could go down to 205, I can go down to 125.
What led to the problem with the 125 weight cut?
Didn't put science behind my weight cut. At the age when I was 21, I was used to just throwing everything through heart and strength and conditioning. It's different now. I'm about to turn 28. I'm not 21 no more. And hopefully they could allow me or maybe continue to fight at 35. But I think at one point I would like to go back down to 125 and give the UFC a practice cut. And hopefully they can see that I can make it. I'm a very disciplined person, but again, I have to put my science and nutrition behind it.
Is it a point of pride, or do you think you're actually a better fighter at 25?
I just feel like I could dominate the 125 pounds, and I feel like I could, I feel like I could feel good at both weights, but I feel like 25 could be extremely dominant. I feel strong at 35, and I can only imagine 25. I gain like 25 pounds, man, after weigh-ins. When I get down to 125, I gain literally 125 pounds. And if you allow me, I can probably get up to 30 pounds.
Where'd the messenger come from?
The messenger, man, I think for me it's always it's not so much based on fighting kicks, knees, and elbows. To me, that's a platform, that's a tool for me to inspire others. Kids that grew up in neighborhoods like myself, that came from single-parent homes, drugs, gangs, violence, around my neighborhoods. I just want to make sure I inspire the youth, like people in my life have been inspired. It's a bigger message, man. It's a message of God. God has given me so much love, and I'm just here to share it.
When you were out there in the octagon, did you ever, I know it's a fight, but did you ever look around and go, like I'm kind of winning, I'm doing it, I'm like...
No, not at all, man. Like I tell people a lot, man. This isn't my first dance. I've competed at the Olympic Games. I've competed in the middle of Times Square. I competed in some big venues in Cuba and Iran, in soccer stadiums in Brazil. This isn't anything new to me. These cameras, I'm used to you guys. You guys, I may be saying one thing to the camera, you guys are gonna write something else. I'm on you guys, man.
When you mentioned being used to the limelight, there were a lot of critics, with some of the weight cut issues in the past. How do you deal with that as you're trying to find the right weight class in the right home in UFC?
I mean, that's it. If they give me a second chance and I get a good plan in me, I could make it. I used to make 125 pounds like nothing. And again, I've added muscle to my legs, to my back. I mean, I'm a big kid, but I know if I do a CAT scan, if I go back to the Olympic Training Center, get all these tests done, that they can slim me down, and I can make it, and I can compete. Believe me, I've been the best at 121 pounds. I can make 126 pounds. I know I can. Just I hope the UFC allows me. Give me a second chance. I'll give you guys a practice cut. And not too many fighters will do that, but I'm willing to do that to show that I can make it and fight all these guys. At the end of the day, my goal is to be a world champion. It's not just to be a fighter and dye my hair pink and tattoos. I want to be the best in the world.
Have you had any conversations with Sean Shelby or anyone about that process?
I haven't. I haven't even talked to him since. So if anything, I want to apologize to him. You know, I'm a man. I look at people in the eye and I'll tell you I'm sorry. And I told him that, but I haven't really had a chance to talk to him. I come up with a plan, and hopefully allow me. I mean, there's 335 pounds out in my gym that I consider family. I would hate to fight with world guys.
Why was MMA and UFC in your mind? Why was it like the next? Was it kind of the next logical step for you from Olympic wrestling?
For me, MMA at first was a way to kind of make it lucrative. I became the best in the world in wrestling, which is I hope nobody takes offense to it. I think it's a lot tougher than MMA. And when you become the best in the world in wrestling, you're the best in the world. This isn't 2-3 events. This is once every 4 years. So for me, it was like, man, I see what these guys are making. I'm like, ever since I was a kid, it was about the fighting, but now it's kind of like, man, there's an incentive to it. And everybody that's wrestling, you can tell Daniel Cormier, we used to get paid, $1,500 to win nationals, $3,000 to be the best in the country. Here it's 30, 40, 50, 60, 100,000 you come out making. So for me, it's not so much that MMA is the next step up, because I really don't believe it is. And again, you can confirm it with Daniel Cormier and some of the best wrestlers, but I feel like it's just a way where we can make a living and buy a nice car, have a nice home.
Did you talk to DC about making this move?
I just got his phone number today. Hopefully he put in a work. So again, if I know if the Daniel made it, I can make it.
He's here today. He's
I'm gonna talk some stuff to him. I didn't get a chance to kind of started horsing around, but I was like, I gotta fight. And I've known Daniel since I was 16. I used to. He was telling me, he was like, Henry, you used to train. You used to go to high school in Colorado Springs. I used to live at the training center, and I would practice with the Olympic team, and then I would go and compete against the high school domies, and I would kill these guys. And Daniel would laugh all the time. He's like, dude, this isn't fair. He was trying to turn me into the cops. I'm just like, dude, this is. I was living and eating and sleeping at the training center at a very young age, so I was exposed to good wrestling. I was with guys of caliber of Daniel Cormier and people of that matter.
You were saying that you think wrestling in some ways is harder. What's hard about MMA?
What's hard about MMA? You get punched, you get kneed. But I think you want that. You get a strong wrestler, and he'll just eat it, and he'll just take it. And if anything, as a competitor, it pisses you off. It gets you. It makes your blood boil. And wrestling, just because it's been around for hundreds of years, the sport is at its peak. You'll never go to the Olympic Games and have a tech fall, which you'll kill somebody. No, it's always a 2-3 point match.
What do you guys? What's driving you right now? Is it competition or is it fighting? Because I talked to Daniel, and he can't talk enough about how much he loves competition. Do you have that kind of
I feel
thing?
the same way.
Yeah.
I'm a competitor. I want to see how far I could take this game, and if I do things right, I know I could become the best in the world. And I've done it in the hardest sport in the world, and I know people like Daniel. I know in a month or so he'll be the best in the world, and I can kind of take him as an example. I'm just excited, man. I'm just excited what the future holds for me here in the UFC, and I want to fight as many times as I can as long as I'm healthy.
What do you think, Henry? What do you think of the future of UFC in Phoenix coming back? I mean, it's gotten a good reception here so far.
Yeah, I hope we come back. I hope the UFC I hope we can continue to have events here. It means a lot to our city. Yeah, absolutely, man. There's a lot of fighters out here. A lot of fighters, and this means a lot to our city. It's the 5th largest city in the country. rarely do we have big events like this that we're having here today.
You talked a little bit about getting hit and it pissing you off. You looked fired up out there, and he looked tentative. You know, what was your mindset out there? Are you like adrenaline up? Like what? How are you feeling when you're fighting out there?
You know, I'm focused. I listen to my corner. I could actually hear them the whole time. So they'll tell me like, "Hey, hold your composure," because I get aggressive. I'm a very aggressive. When I'm an aggressive wrestler, I'm an aggressive fighter. You know, I was keeping my distance a little too close, and I would hear my coach Roland tell me like, "Hey, keep your distance, circle to your right." But I was already like, "Dude, I want to scrap. I want to compete." So I got to be careful with that.
For sure.
No, thank you guys for thank you guys. I want to thank my coaches and everybody for helping me, and all my training partners at Fight Ready MMA, and you know, you guys will see me soon again.
Thank you, sir.
Congrats.
Thank you.